Imagine this. You're driving home from work when suddenly, crash. Your car is totaled, you're injured, and your life is turned upside down in seconds. Now imagine discovering that because you live in Texas, your financial recovery could be dramatically different than if you lived just one state over. What most Texans don't realize is that their entire financial future could be hanging by the thread of an insurance system they barely understand. The knowledge I'm about to share isn't just helpful. It's absolutely critical for anyone who drives in the Lone Star State. In just the next few minutes, you'll discover insider insights about Texas's at-fault insurance system that insurance companies desperately hope you never learn. This information could literally save you from financial ruin, protect your assets, and give you the power to navigate any accident situation with complete confidence. As someone who's spent years analyzing insurance claims data and helping people recover from the financial devastation of car accidents, I've seen firsthand how understanding your state's insurance system can be the difference between quick recovery and years of financial struggle. You've probably heard terms like at fault and no fault insurance thrown around, but what do they actually mean for you, your wallet, and your future? In Texas, we operate under an at-fault system, also known as a tort system, which means the driver who caused the accident is responsible for all resulting damages. This fundamentally changes everything about how insurance claims work in our state compared to no-fault states like Florida, Michigan, or New York. The at-fault system in Texas follows a principle that seems straightforward. If you cause an accident, you pay for it. When a collision occurs, insurance companies investigate to determine who is responsible, and that person's insurance covers the damages. It sounds fair in theory, but the reality is far more complex and often problematic for everyone involved. Did you know that, according to the Texas Department of Insurance, the average car accident claim in Texas takes 45% longer to settle than in no-fault states? That's because determining fault can be an incredibly complex and contested process, with insurance companies fighting fiercely to avoid paying claims. While you're waiting for resolution, medical bills pile up, and your financial stability hangs in the balance. In contrast, no-fault states operate under a completely different philosophy. If you're in an accident in a state like Florida or Michigan, your own insurance company pays for your medical expenses and certain economic losses, regardless of who caused the accident. This system was designed to reduce litigation and speed up the claims process. In these states, each driver's personal injury protection (PIP) coverage, which is mandatory, kicks in immediately after an accident. Here's where things get interesting. In no-fault states, you typically cannot sue the other driver unless your injuries meet certain thresholds defined by state law, like permanent disfigurement or significant and lasting impairment. This limits your ability to recover compensation for pain and suffering, which can be substantial in serious accidents. The Texas system, however, preserves your right to pursue full compensation through the legal system. There's no threshold you need to meet before filing a lawsuit against an at-fault driver. This means that if you're severely injured, you can seek damages not just for your medical bills and lost wages, but also for your pain and suffering, emotional distress, and reduced quality of life. But this freedom comes at a price. Without mandatory PIP coverage, Texans often face delays in getting medical treatment while waiting for fault to be determined. And if the at-fault driver is underinsured or uninsured altogether, you could be left holding the bag for thousands in medical bills and repair costs, even if the accident wasn't your fault at all. The numbers are staggering. Approximately 20% of Texas drivers are uninsured, meaning if you're hit by one of them, you have a 1 in 5 chance of facing an uphill battle to recover any compensation. This is why understanding and properly preparing for the realities of Texas's at-fault system is absolutely crucial. One critical aspect of Texas's system that many drivers overlook is the state's comparative negligence rule. Under this principle, if you're found to be partially responsible for an accident, your compensation will be reduced by your percentage of fault. Even more dramatically, if you're found to be more than 51% responsible, you cannot recover any damages at all from the other party. This means that fault determination isn't just important. It can be the entire ballgame when it comes to your financial recovery. Consider this real-world example. Sarah was involved in a T-bone collision at an intersection in Dallas. The other driver ran a red light, but Sarah was texting and didn't attempt to avoid the collision. The insurance adjusters determined Sarah was 30% at fault, which reduced her $100,000 claim by $30,000. In a no-fault state, Sarah's own insurance would have covered her medical bills regardless of fault, providing immediate financial relief. So what does all this mean for your insurance needs in Texas? Simply put, the minimum coverage requirements set by the state, $30,000 for bodily injury per person, $60,000 per accident, and $25,000 for property damage, are woefully inadequate for serious accidents. A single night in a Texas hospital can easily exceed $10,000, and newer vehicles often cost more than $25,000 to replace. This is why savvy Texas drivers protect themselves with enhanced coverage options that no-fault state residents might consider unnecessary: uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage, personal injury protection, even though it's optional in Texas, and umbrella policies that extend your liability coverage into the millions are not luxuries. They're essential safeguards in our at-fault system. To truly protect yourself in Texas, you need to understand how to document an accident scene properly. Taking photos, gathering witness information, obtaining police reports, and seeking immediate medical attention aren't just good practices. They're critical steps that can make or break your claim in an at-fault system where evidence of responsibility is everything. The most important takeaways about Texas's at-fault insurance system are these. First, minimum coverage requirements are rarely enough to protect you financially. Second, determining fault is a complex process that can significantly impact your ability to recover damages. Third, optional coverages like uninsured motorist protection are practically essential in Texas. Fourth, proper documentation after an accident is critical for protecting your rights. And finally, understanding the comparative negligence rule can save you from devastating financial consequences. By arming yourself with this knowledge, you're not just protecting your finances. You're ensuring that if the worst happens, you and your loved ones won't face the added stress of financial ruin on top of physical recovery. The power of this information isn't just in knowing how Texas's system works, but in taking concrete actions to protect yourself within it. If you found this explanation valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more insider information that could save you thousands. Don't forget to tap the notification bell so you never miss our newest videos on insurance secrets and financial protection strategies.